Generation 2 Flowlights are here in full effect. Actually, we've been sending them out most of the summer, but we didn't want to tell anyone about it until we had enough stock and until our resellers had their stock up to date. We've actually been making improvements to the Flowlight with every single batch that we've made, but we consider these Generation 2 Flowlights because we made some pretty significant electronic changes and added a few features that I think you're going to notice and appreciate. There's now a low battery indicator. You can use true lithium-ion rechargeable batteries. It's nearly impossible for them to turn off due to an impact, and we figured a way to optionally drive the LEDs twice as hard, enabling a whole range of super bright modes. There's two ways to determine if a Flowlight is a Generation 2 Flowlight. For one, it actually says Gen 2 after the word Flowlight near the negative side of the battery on the circuit board. Also, if you look to the right of the color indicator on the board near the positive end of the battery, there's a date. If the date is 1/11 or later, then it's G2. So in the super bright mode, we're actually running the LEDs twice as hard. There's twice as much power going into them, but they look maybe 20% brighter to the human eye. Now, this can make a big difference if you're taking a video, for example, in Flowtoys in the dark. In a video, you can really see the difference. Or if you're on stage where you really need your lights to just have as much pop as possible, you're totally going to notice that little bit of extra brightness. Here you can see the double bright, super bright versus just the normal. To access the super bright modes, first you need to understand a little bit about the modes of the Flowlight. There's basically 10 modes plus one demo mode. There's 5 modes in the first dimension, and at any point in the first dimension, if you hold the button and let go when it blinks, you get to the second dimension of 5 modes, plus the demo mode at the end. 2, 3, 4, 5, and demo. The demo mode cycles through most of the modes. After that, in the second dimension, in the G1 light, it would just turn off. The G2 light, you get back to mode 1, but it's being run twice as bright. Mode 2, mode 3. Now this is super bold. This is all the LEDs, full on, full power. It's running so bright that it actually gets warm. And it also kills the battery in about an hour. So it's kind of like your secret weapon, only pull it out when you really need it. After that, you have mode 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and demo mode, all super bright. The low battery indicator is just one LED blinking. The Flowlight only enters this mode when the battery drops below 0.9 volts for more than a second. This is really helpful because the Flowlight runs at full brightness for the whole life of the battery. When the battery gets low, it can dim a little bit. Some of the LEDs can turn off before others because they run at different voltages, or it could turn off on impact, which makes the Flowlight seem a little faulty. About 90% of the customers who contact us about their Flowlight with any kind of trouble, actually it's their battery that's the problem. The low battery indicator now makes it really easy to tell whether the Flowlight is having problems or whether it's just your battery. Second generation Flowlights have total recall. They always remember what mode they were in. So if the battery is disconnected, when it's reconnected, it instantly goes back into the last mode it was in. So even if the battery is disconnected momentarily by an impact, it's impossible for that to make the Flowlight turn off, because it's just going to go right back to where it left off when it gets power again. This is also great when your battery dies and you swap it out and stick a new one in, and boom, you're instantly ready to go. You can also enter the last mode that the Flowlight was in if it's been turned off by holding the button down from off. Brings you back to the last mode you were in. If you press the button momentarily, it brings you to mode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I wanted to go to mode 5 from off, I could hold the button down to turn it off. And now when I hold the button down from off, boom, right back where I left off, ready to flow. Some AAA lithium battery cells have built-in voltage protection that prevent them from being over-discharged. However, these don't actually fit in a Flowlight or many other devices because they're a little bit too long. Also, most lithium-ion cells can't be used in a lot of devices because you would destroy the device with the high voltage. Flowlights have always been able to run off of 0.9 volts up to 6 volts, a very wide range. However, putting a lithium-ion cell that's not protected, which is the only type that'll fit into a Generation 1 Flowlight, will destroy the cell. unless you turn it off before the battery gets low, and there's no way to know when that is. So I repeat, again, do not put lithium-ion cells in Generation 1 Flowlights. Only Generation 2 Flowlights have the circuitry and programming to recognize and adjust for the difference. Another feature of the Gen 2 Flowlight that's actually present in some of the Generation 1 Flowlights as well is the battery removal tab. This thin clear plastic tab runs underneath the battery and enables you to pop it out just by pulling on it. It's really convenient. Gen 2 Flowlights embody the years of refinement and evolution that have gone into these babies, and it's all possible because of all of your support and all of your drive and all of your enthusiasm. Thank you for making awesome with us.